Welcome everyone to the Worst Fans Podcast. I'm your host Marco. That's Rhett. That's Buck. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
What's up?
And
How we doing?
we are talking about Marvel today. We talk about a lot, but we just gotta talk about it because She-Hulk comes out tomorrow, and we're gonna look at all of the Marvel Disney Plus shows and really put our minds together and see what the state of Marvel is right now, Phase 4 as a whole, specifically with the shows. So we're gonna go through each one of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, say our thoughts about them, go through them one by one, and we're gonna have some expectations for She-Hulk and see how that's gonna. Okay. The first show on our list is Wanda Vision. Buck, on Wanda Vision, how did you think the portrayal of Wanda and Vision, and how did you like that show when it comes to portraying those heroes?
I like the show a lot. I thought it started out kind of weird. I wasn't sure where it was going to go. Towards the middle, it really started to pick up, and it really started to grab my attention. And I like the way Elizabeth Olsen
Yes.
was playing her. I mean, she's a very gifted actress, and she really took that show. She led the show. It was basically her show. I mean, Vision was there too, but she was a central character, and yeah, it was just the whole show was basically a little piece of mystery every episode, unveiling what this show really was, and I enjoyed it. The season finale fell a little short. I enjoyed it, but there are certain things I'm like, okay, I expected a little more. I thought Doctor Strange was going to show up at the end, but as a whole, I thought the show was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I loved it. Like it was,
Right. Yeah.
Man, I could like rewatch this over and over again. But I enjoyed it. I wasn't a fan of Agatha, but yeah, that's and the fact she's getting her own show.
Yes, she is getting her own show. I was just gonna say that. Rhett,
Yep.
what are your thoughts?
I think it was my favorite show, actually, of all MCU shows. It's still up there as the best for me.
Wow.
And it was like you. It started a little like I don't know where we're going with this, how it's tying in, but when it started to, I really, really liked it. I liked how we got the white version of Vision. I liked how it connected with other stuff. The Carol Danvers character, her partner's
Monica
daughter.
Rambeau. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was quite fascinating, just interesting how they managed to make him feel like decades of shows, and it tied in. It wasn't just some weird, silly Disney thing they did. They actually based it off of spoilers, her young childhood and the happy time of her life. And I was like, this is really cool. Like it's a interesting what you could do with your own mind just to find that happy place again. And it worked for me at the time. I thought it was a great show. It's the only one I've actually seen completely twice, like run through twice now, out of all the MCU shows. So it I don't know if we want to get into it right now, but it did lead right into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Funny though, once I saw that, it almost made the show a little less because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Yeah, I felt like it was leading to something maybe a little bigger, and I was like, oh, I didn't know she was just going to up and become a villain and then
yeah.
die. So I kind of thought it's like, man,
Yeah.
she's going to be one of our unstoppable Avengers forces now. I'm ready to see this, and maybe that's still around the corner. Maybe she had to, go to rehab, and now she's better. But I have to say, I mean, I don't mind being on my own if that's the case. But this was my favorite so far of the MCU shows.
It's definitely one of my favorites. I really enjoyed Elizabeth Olsen's profile. Olsen.
Now you're talking like Mary Kate and Ashley.
That's quite a lift behind
Elizabeth Olsen.
Silly rabbit.
You got it, dude.
I enjoyed her performance in the show a lot. I also like Vision.
With the fifth. What the fifth?
A fifth?
Over. Joke's over.
I really enjoyed her performance. I love Vision's performance. I was okay with Agatha. I didn't really have a huge problem with her. I know everyone else did.
Not really. Most people love her.
Yeah,
most people
like her. Yeah. My only thing is, I wish we got more answers. I think my biggest problem with the show is that we have a lot of unanswered questions. For example, they brought in Evan Peters' Quicksilver, and
I didn't like that.
It was kind of just like, oh, he's just a guy named Ralph Boner. It's not actually Quicksilver
I thought that was gonna be the first introduction
of
to the
mutants.
multiverse.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, and that was gonna be,
Yeah.
and that wasn't. It was going to complete. Just it was a joke. It was just a
Right.
joke, really.
So
Yeah.
what are they
Yeah.
gonna do with
Bummer.
it? Who knows? I don't know if they're gonna continue it. There's rumors that Ralph Boner's gonna come back. I don't know. I don't think so. Another unanswered question: where is the white version of Vision? There you go.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
I thought he was gonna come back in Multiverse of Madness to kind
Yeah.
of have like a redemption arc with Wanda. I thought he was gonna be the only thing that saved Wanda because she was on a very dark path.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Is he a sword weapon now? Is he is up there in the sky base with Nick Fury? Who knows? We're never gonna know.
Well, honestly, we'll never know. I wouldn't.
Well,
It could
obviously,
happen.
yeah, we're never not gonna know. But I wish we'd have found out during this phase of the Marvel.
They probably got a. They probably got a plan for him.
Yeah,
Well, that's what happened with this show for me as well. Is that after Doctor Strange 2 came out, because I held the show in pretty high regard, but then
Mhm.
once Doctor Strange 2 came out and we saw Wanda was the main villain, and I guess it did make sense the way WandaVision ended, but it was just strange because you kind of see her in this show where she's the villain in this show too. I mean, she's doing all these
Mhm.
things, and then at the end she gets redeemed and she learns, what she was doing was wrong.
yeah.
And then we see her in Doctor Strange 2 and she's the villain again, and she's 10 times worse than she was in
Yeah.
WandaVision. So
I think obviously it was
it kind of made the
probably
show,
yeah.
yeah.
It made the show not like she didn't grow as a character, but
Right,
I think
right,
she grew the wrong way because she had the Darkhold. Obviously, the Darkhold
right.
corrupted her
Yeah.
mind, causing
I
her
get
to
that.
think
Yeah,
those thoughts were okay. Before we
right.
saw the innocence in her, saying, I didn't want to do this to these people, and then after she had possession of the Darkhold, her mind just completely changed. She was murdering everyone in sight.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah. What I was gonna say something. I don't remember much about Scarlet Witch, other than X-Men comics, actually. And she was always on the Brotherhood of Mutant side back then, so she was kind of the villain in comics. And I was surprised in Avengers because I don't read the comics as much, and I haven't for a long time. But I didn't know she was a good Avenger
yeah,
until Age of Ultron. So, but
Yeah.
you're right. She looked like she was on the mend, and it ends up, I think, the show, her own mind show, once she was gone with that, she was like, "Well, now that's all I can think about, and I'm obsessed." So
Yeah.
that's where she went.
also, at
Well, I mean,
the sorry, go on.
no, all in all, I think the show was probably the most unique out of all of them. It's just the way it was laid out and the way it was told in the story. It was
Mm.
something like I've never seen before in a show.
I've never
It
seen it
was
before.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll give it
most
that.
unique out of MCU. I think we'll find out. I think there's one that's a little more unique. But
I think I know where you're going with that too. I have a feeling.
yeah,
Maybe,
not yet, not yet.
maybe we have the same show. I don't
Definitely
know.
not the next one.
No,
Not the next
no,
one.
not the
It's
next
not
show.
unique.
Man, yeah, whatever. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You must be
Let's just
alone on
move
this
along.
one.
Are we ready?
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Rhett, we'll start with
This
you.
one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
All
All
right,
right.
go
we'll
ahead.
start with
Go,
Rhett.
go ahead.
So
Go
because
ahead.
you started the last one, I think you're on your
I
own on this one,
actually,
Buck.
I liked it fine. I did not like it. It's just after WandaVision, I felt like that was something different. I thought this was a run of the mill. It felt like it could have been an ABC Marvel show from, like Agents of Shield era. Maybe a tad better on the quality. I thought Agent oh god, what was his name? Agent Kurt Russell's son.
Yes.
Oh,
Agent, agent.
Uh,
Damn it.
God, I
See,
know.
that's
It
how
sucks
useless
to
he
get
was.
old. I know.
dang, I can't even remember.
Shut up. Shut up.
I
Shut up.
can't.
US agent. US agent.
U.S.
U.S.
agent.
agent.
Yes, that's
There
Yes.
we
it.
go.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought the idea of him was cool. It was fine. Falcon becoming Captain America was a decent story arc. I still thought it was a little silly that he's an Avenger. And granted, there's no government paying them to do that. It's complete like, voluntary firefighter sort of thing.
Right.
But it's like the guy couldn't get a bank loan. It's like, are you kidding me? Come on, he's the Falcon. Like something's gotta. That was just silly to me. Um, I'm trying to remember the story. Like, so what? The girl from Solo got some. She ended up juicing up some powers. Yeah, the surprise girl from
Oh
Solo.
yeah.
Remember? Memphis
Yeah,
Nest.
she
Or,
had this
Yeah.
super soldier serum. These group of
yeah,
kids, and yeah.
The
I don't
flag
know. I felt
smashers.
like it didn't. Yeah, yeah, it just didn't. I don't. Yeah, I really have nothing to say other than move along. I mean, whatever.
It
Next,
was a
what's the next
threat in
show?
the MCU that was kind of very minimal to compared to what other threats the MCU has had. But again, it was more street villainy, kind of like nothing too major, nothing crazy.
Mhm.
It wasn't world threatening. and the only Avengers that we could really focus on that aren't people who deal with world-threatening things are people like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. You know, they're not gonna go off and fight Kang the Conqueror. No, they can't do that by themselves. They have to fight someone like the Flag Smashers. So I think it was an appropriate story. I don't have a problem with it. I think the Baron Zemo arc was a little strange. I mean, I liked his character a lot. I mean, he
Oh,
was there a
masked
lot. Yeah,
guy?
he was there a lot, and they made him into a likable character. But I don't think that forgives him for basically causing the Avengers to split up, like Civil War. Like he kind of,
Well,
you know what I mean?
he,
Like,
he played the Loki character. You know what I'm saying? It's like Loki was basically the main villain of the Avengers, and all of a sudden, as the movies went on, he became this likable character, and he wasn't so bad.
yeah,
It's the
that's
same kind
true.
of thing. Yeah.
All right, so you're clearly the one who likes it the most. So let's hear
I
the good stuff.
look,
Yeah.
look. I really enjoyed the show. I thought it's my second favorite. I think out of the MCU's. I just
Wow.
thought it was such okay as far as the MCU shows.
Yeah,
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 but-
wow.
Yeah. Look, I just thought when we got WandaVision,
Wow, really?
it was such a weird. You know what? Let me collect myself for a second.
I'm laughing because I caught his wow a little late. And I was like, yeah, I know, right?
All right, okay. Are you guys ready?
Mhm,
You guys
mhm.
Yeah.
composed? All right, okay. I thought after WandaVision, the tone that WandaVision had was such a weird kind of tone, and it was I enjoyed it. It was cool, and I think after that, when we got Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was such a nice simplistic kind of story. It reminded me a lot of kind of like a Lethal Weapon kind of kind of show, and it was great. Look, I love the characters. I love the Falcon. I love the Winter Soldier. I like the way their characters progressed in the show
Easy.
and how they ended. Um, I liked it a lot. Look, I get it wasn't anything world, ending
Fine.
when it comes to a lot of the MCU stories, but it was cool. And that's what's great about the MCU. There's so many things you can do. Not every show or every movie
Mhm.
has to be the critical, like, oh my god, this is the end of the world chain of events.
Yep,
It
I'm with you.
wasn't.
You're right.
It was just
It was
great. It had
grounded.
it had a die-hard Lethal Weapon kind of edge to it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. The ending, again, a lot of these, I see a lot of pattern with a lot of the shows actually. The finale doesn't really stick to landing. It was okay. Um, I didn't love it, but I
Remind me what
like.
happened. What was the finale?
Well,
They get the
the
girl.
what I didn't like is that with the USA agent, is that what they call
U.S. agent, yeah.
he became
Oh yeah, he's like a thing now.
good all of a sudden. He became like he was so bad after what he did, and it was just he was redeemed too quickly. I thought. And it was one of those things where it was a 6-part episode, and that was again, these 6-part episodes aren't good because there's not enough time to flesh out a lot of these stories, and that I think that's what happened to the show too.
Did he turn out good though? Like, is he?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he kind of did.
Like
Yeah,
made him a hero, make you a
yeah,
superhero for sword or something like
yeah.
that.
He's
Right?
gonna be one of the characters gonna be in the Thunderbolt movie in the future.
Right, but the
I think
Thunderbolts are
right,
basically like the like the Suicide Squad. Aren't that basically what they are?
right.
That makes sense
Sort of,
him.
yeah.
So is
yeah.
he really good, or are they just using his skills
I mean,
to benefit?
all I'm
You
saying,
know what
he's
I mean?
not like pure evil anymore. He's not. They kind
I
of
mean,
redeemed him at the end.
let's remember though, what was it he actually did? Didn't he kill a bad guy, like a terrorist?
Yeah, but like in
Well,
broad daylight with the shield.
broad
Yeah.
daylight with a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
But I
was
mean, it's not
bad.
like he killed an innocent, he killed a
I
bad
think,
guy. So
yeah,
it's like you shouldn't have done that. That's illegal technically. You took the law into your own hands. But he was kind of charged with doing that too. It's like, hey, you have the freedom to take care of business. It's just you did it and you didn't look like a kid's idol
You look
or a
like
kid's
you didn't look
mentor when
like
you did
Captain
it.
America.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay,
think,
so he's wearing there you go. He was
yeah,
wearing the Captain America and he did that. But in the end it's like that's not like he intentionally I don't know. He's in the middle, I guess. I think he's perfect for
yeah,
Thunderbolts now that I think about it.
Yeah.
yeah. I think he did something else too. I just can't remember because it's been a
He's
while.
kind of a
But
jerk.
He
Like
took
he
he
fucks
took the
good guys.
super serum. He wasn't supposed to take the super
yeah,
serum.
yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know he took the super serum, but
Yeah, he wasn't
So,
supposed
but
to take it.
yeah, but yeah, look, like I said, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was a lot of fun. So.
Excuse me. Yeah. Getting sleepy. Sorry.
You're good. Yeah, I mean, and we saw the introduction of Seinfeld's character. What's her name?
Oh yeah, she's a yeah. She's gonna be an important role
Yeah,
going down. She's
isn't
like the
isn't her
next
her name like Madam Hydra or something in the comics?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Julia
What?
Louise Dreyfus.
Julie Dreyfus.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, she's basically recruiting the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. She's basically like Nick Fury,
But for
kind
Mm-hmm.
of. But yeah.
For the
looking for other
Thunderbolts.
qualifications.
I saw her once in
Right.
a restaurant in LA. Funny thing. I heard her laugh, and the waiter was like, "Yep, that's her." It's like, no kidding.
That's funny.
Yep, that was with friends who were like, "Cool."
Nice.
Back in the day, 20 years ago,
Um,
daughter's birthday.
well,
Anyway.
that's our thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier. The next show is Loki.
Oh, you got the hat.
Yes, I'm wearing Loki hat. Probably one of my favorites actually in the Disney Plus series. Probably my
Agreed.
second favorite.
Second favorite. Agreed.
I really enjoyed what they did with the TVA. The entire one timeline has to be continuous. Nothing has to be messed up. It kind of explains why if we see this Loki's story and it doesn't mess up the main timeline of the MCU, because obviously in Endgame we see that it messes up, and then this is just a continuation of that Loki who's messing it up.
Wasn't it the first Avengers Loki that we're seeing?
No, this
in
is
that
this
show?
technically this is a whole different other timeline. This is a
Yeah, but it ain't start out that way though. That was the Loki from the first Avengers.
yeah, yes, this is Loki from the first Avengers, but this isn't Loki from the first Avengers movie. This is the Loki from the Endgame Avengers when they went back in time, which has a different route
See,
altogether.
this is I like this show, but this is my problem with the show. Go ahead. I'll explain later. Go ahead.
It's confusing. It is. It's just
It is.
it's for a lot of people
It
who
is.
don't know, like, wait, isn't that Loki from like no, that's not Loki from there is dead. That's it. Loki from Avengers 1 died by Thanos in Infinity War.
Yeah, until you go back
Yeah.
in time, and then he hasn't died yet. And
But that's a
Right.
different timeline. That's a different scenario. He was supposed to be disintegrated by the TVA. Like he was supposed to get disintegrated by the TVA, but they decided to keep him instead so they could find another version of him who was Sylvie. Lokis have been disintegrated time and time again, and they also escaped time and time again. That's why we go into this dimension where it's just a bunch of Lokis. Because they find a way to keep escaping.
Well, I say
What was the middle part again?
It's confusing. It's very confusing.
second favorite show. All right, so I liked the TVA and I liked the design. Did you notice it was very like mid 20th century? It looked
Yes.
like the video game Fallout or
Mhm.
something, Fallout 3. It was so I thought they did a really good job on the aesthetic with that. And it felt like a 60s spy movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Trying to remember the ending. So Sylvie, was that her name? you
Yes,
said?
Sylvie ends up
Mhm.
killing the He Who Remains, which is a variant of King the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the very interesting part that we're
That
gonna
is the
get
very
deep
interesting.
into.
Yes.
In
yes.
the comic books, He Who Remains and King the Conqueror are two different people, but they decided to go with the route of them being variants of each other. I mean, he warns her that he's scared of himself, of his variants.
Mhm.
So clearly, this timeline maybe has happened before, and he made the TVA just to prevent that from happening. So because the TVA is his creation, though He Who Remains, to keep those timelines straight.
Mm.
So who exactly was it that broke the MCU timeline? Sylvie? Was it Doctor Strange with Peter Parker? Was it just an occurrence that like because when he died, the splits of the timeline were already starting to happen. They were already starting before he even died. Then when Sylvie killed him, it got even worse. So he in his mind he sat down and he's like, I don't know what's gonna happen after this. This is where I don't know what's gonna happen, basically.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah. Mm.
at the end of the day, King the Conqueror was probably gonna happen anyway. But
Well,
how it's gonna affect the Avengers, we don't know because we have to wait for
Kang just
Ant-Man.
isn't gonna quite be the exact same. Like it's a variant of Kang, right? That's who we saw.
Yes, He Who Remains is a variant of King, and then the TVA that we saw after at the end when Loki goes back to the TVA, he's like, "Oh, we have to help Sylvie, whatever." And then Owen Wilson doesn't know who Loki is. He's like, "Who are you?" It's a totally different timeline. The TVA
Dude, I
basically
gotta watch this again.
gets
It's been
shattered.
too long.
It basically gets destroyed, And the statue we see is the statue of Kang the Conqueror. So either Kang the Conqueror runs the TVA, or the TVA is just its own division. It doesn't even. No one's controlling it.
Buck loves talking timelines.
Yes, I
especially
know
in-game
Buck hates the
timelines.
timeline stuff.
No, I like it. It's just when it's too much.
Mhm.
Like too much of a good thing is not good. I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the show. There's a lot of things I liked about it. It had a very kind of Beetlejuice kind of flair to it. It was very odd and weird, and I love the different timelines. It was fun. It's just you can't tell me it's easy to keep up with. It's not. I mean, you
I'm still
really
not
have to
sure I
just
get it.
pay attention to the show. Like, cause yeah, just like you, I'm gonna have to see it again because there's a lot of stuff that I really did not understand the first time
Yeah,
around.
the show is not a
Yeah.
show you can just watch once and think you understand everything.
Yeah.
The show involves you doing your own research after you watch the show
Yeah.
because it's
I
very
mean,
confusing.
I do like that this was kind of like the first. Well, I guess Spider-Man Far From Home was the first one. Not Far From Home. No Way
No
Home
Way
was
Home.
the one that introduced the multiverse sort of.
Mhm.
But I think this one kind of really was more of the opening. I would say.
I feel like
Yes.
Can I say
Endgame
that?
was the first time they crossed
They
streams and
cross timelines. They didn't cross
Timelines, yeah.
multiverses.
okay, right. So timeline is what Loki's about, though. It's not about multiverse, is it?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't about multiverse until Kang died. Until He Who Remains died.
Right. Yeah.
Right. The thing is, with an Endgame, they
Mhm.
introduced a timeline thing by taking out the Infinity Stones and putting them back in their respective timelines.
Mhm.
That's why the TVA wasn't interfering in that, because Captain America
They took care of it
took care
themselves.
of it, and he put all the stuff back where it was supposed to be.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's why the TVA never intervened. That's why in the Loki show, he even says what happened was supposed to happen. What the Avengers did when they interfered with time, that was supposed to happen.
The only part that wasn't that the TVA did interfere with was Loki leaving.
Well, they did
that
interfere
timeline.
by deleting that timeline. Before they grabbed Loki, they had that little time bomb thing, whatever, and they left, and that basically
Yeah.
deleted that entire timeline. Every time they do that, they basically delete the entire timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still say that Loki that we see as the lead in the show Loki is from the first Avengers movie.
It's the same mindset as that Loki, but it's not the same one that we see, because the one that we see gets killed by Thanos. The one that's in the TVA sees how his life ends because he gets killed by Thanos.
I think it's the same, like you said, mindset or whatever, but that one goes off and dies in the original timeline. But then that timeline, what continues on, and then we come back over here, and the Avengers reset the same timeline to keep it on path.
Think about it this way. The second the Avengers come from the past, from the future into that
Yeah, yeah.
timeline, it's already a different
A
timeline.
new branch.
Yeah,
a
it's
new
a
branch
new
forms.
branch
Yeah, I remember
already
that.
starts. So as that branch starts, that Loki that's there is already one we're not familiar with, because he grabs that Tesseract and does what he has to do.
But then you're saying every time the Avengers went, or Captain America came back and dropped off a new Infinity
Yes,
Stone.
but he didn't do that
that's-
in that timeline because they didn't grab anything from that timeline. They didn't grab anything. The only thing they grabbed, they had to go back and grab another Tesseract and more Pym particle. So that timeline was just erased because they grabbed Loki from it.
Wait, so every time he goes back to return an Infinity
He doesn't
Stone,
go back to that timeline because he didn't grab anything. They didn't grab anything from it.
No. And every time he went and put an Infinity Stone back where it belonged, because
Mhm.
he made like 5 trips, right?
Yes.
DeLorean. 6, okay. Every time he goes back, that's not a new branch that starts
No,
because
that's an old branch connecting back together.
okay, it's the old
Yeah.
one coming back.
hmm
But Loki, the one time he goes back to New York, circa 2012, that's a new branch that doesn't just come.
Yeah,
flowing
that
back.
branch basically erases. You know what though?
No, that branch continues on because Loki said, "F you guys, I'm out of here." So that goes over here, and that's where we catch up with Luke Wilson.
Well, hold on though, because when the
Owen Wilson.
TVA grabs Loki from that timeline, they delete that timeline. That timeline gets erased. But now that I'm thinking about it, how did Captain America return the Eye of Agamotto back to the Ancient One if that timeline was erased? It was
Wait, the
Endgame
what?
yeah,
is very flawed. That's why.
because in that when Loki, when they were grabbing the Tesseract, they were also gonna grab the Eye of Agamotto. The Hulk went to go grab it from the Ancient One.
the scepter.
No, the
No.
Doctor Strange's time stone.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, just say fucking time stone.
Sorry,
It's like I don't know. I have what?
I have Agamotto. That's the thing. That's what it's called.
All right. Time stone.
Yeah, and yeah, they also grab Loki's Spectre. Scepter. They also grab Loki's Scepter. The only thing
Which
they
is
don't
the
grab is the
Mind
Tesseract.
Stone.
Yes, that's
right?
the Mind Stone. The only thing they don't grab is the
Alright.
Tesseract. So how did he put those two things back if that timeline is wrong?
Well, he put them back before that part.
Yeah, but TVA already erased the timeline.
How do we know that happened before he? Maybe the Tesseract was the last thing he put back. Like we don't see the other two, so we can presume it
Right.
either happened before or after.
Okay, I see
If
what
it
you're
happened
saying.
after, then your theory is true. But if he's like one scepter,
Literally,
two
like
time
right,
stone,
like as
three,
soon as they take it, he puts it back. As soon as he takes it,
I guess,
and we don't see that.
Or
I wish they came out with a show of him putting them back.
yeah, I thought for a minute we were going to see that with this
Yeah.
or one of the shows, What If or something. But
Yeah.
anyway, we've probably spent too much time on Loki.
We
It's
have.
confusing.
We have.
So long story short, you guys like the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Let's move on. Jesus Christ. All
All
right.
right. All right. The next show.
Next show's
which I
even
think
more
is
confusing.
considered the most unique, in my opinion.
What If? Absolutely.
What If?
I personally really love What If. I love all the stories told in their own ways. Buck, what are your thoughts on What If?
This was my favorite Disney Plus MCU show.
Nice.
And I know a lot of people were mixed on it because the tone and the stories.
Animation.
A lot of people didn't like some of the characters, the way they were portrayed. But I loved it. I loved the darkness to it. There's some episodes here that I am shocked they actually went with, because I know this is Disney Plus. I know Disney kids are gonna be watching this. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, they went for it, and I was so happy that they actually had the balls to actually go this route.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like every episode. I mean, there were some episodes where they were just like, oh, they were okay, but for the most part, I mean, I think it was 10 was it 10 episodes?
It was like 8. I know they took out
8?
an episode.
Okay. I mean, I loved 90% of whatever it is I saw, for sure. And I loved it. I really did.
How about that Chala one? It's the Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yes,
that one was really good, yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think, how would that work? T'Challa as Star-Lord, and it worked beautifully.
Yeah,
It worked
great.
beautifully. I even liked the Captain Carter episode. The zombie episode was a little short, but
my
I loved
personal
that
favorite
episode.
was the Doctor Strange. The Doctor Strange episode.
Beautiful.
Is that the
beautiful.
dark one you're talking about? Like it was extra dark? Yeah.
Man, there was just so many. No, the dark one also was. I think it was the third episode where. Gosh, it was when they were murdering the Avengers, and ended up being that it was.
It was
this guy,
Ant-Man.
Hank,
right?
yeah,
Right.
not Hank.
Hank,
Yeah, Hank. Yeah,
Hank. Yeah. And that was a good episode. I mean, it was a lot in that show that I really enjoyed, and it was my favorite. It was to me, it was the most ballsy one out of the shows that they've come out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is it that we're going to get Marvel Zombies based off that, and it's going to be MA-17, right? Or like for audiences.
Yeah.
So you're saying they have the balls, they have the big balls now. They're about to go rated R on Disney Plus for an animated thing, which is going to be very confusing for parents. Like, Marvel, this is animated, and they don't pay attention, and they just hit okay over the you have to be
like
an adult.
zombies, give my kids nightmares.
It's going to be like heads ripped off and awesome stuff like that.
Yep.
I mean, good job.
I love the way that they portrayed the scenario that if Ultron would have won, dude, probably one of my favorite MCU villain portrayals ever, because like he was just unstoppable.
I remember the uproar when they saw how quickly Ultron killed Thanos.
Yeah,
and they're like, "What the shit? How was that possible?" And
with the Mind Stone, right?
Really cool. I also like the Watcher too. I
thought the guy I loved his character.
The guy who voiced him, what was his name? Oh my god! But
it was great.
It had a flair of kind of like this,
like unsolved mysteries or something.
Yeah, unsolved mysteries. Yeah, it was creepy.
Like Adam Walsh.
And you saw his face on the clouds looking at the scenarios. Yeah, it was like I'm not gonna say. Okay, no, that's what it was. It reminded me a lot of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
like because you had the different scenarios. What if this happened instead of this? I loved it. It
It
was
was
great.
creepy. Yeah, the
It
alternate
was.
realities were
It
just,
was. It was
and that was
great.
kind of our intro to really seeing the multiverse too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was a really
And we
good segue of
oh, the best surprise is that we didn't think they were like canon or anything at first. We're like, oh, these are just fun episodes, and they were like, yeah,
Yeah,
these are really cool. By the end of it, you're like, it's freaking canon.
it's
They just
canon.
made this canon.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh man,
Hmm.
so good.
Good stuff. Good
And the
stuff.
fact that we're getting more, season 2 was announced, so that's great.
Season 2. Yep, we are getting
Yep,
more
yep.
in 2023.
I heard the
Yep.
first episode's gonna be, maybe it's not the first, but it's one that they were gonna add to the first season, and like, something happened. It didn't. It was gonna be about what's her girl from Guardians?
Gamora, the Gamora
Yeah,
episode. Yeah,
Gamora.
Gamora and Tony
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
she shows up at the end, and we're like, you didn't tell us there was an alternate
yeah. We never
Gamora,
we
but
never saw their episode. It was with
yeah,
Tony
Yeah.
Stark and Gamora. She basically
I didn't
took
know Tony
over
was.
Yeah.
Thanos' role.
Dang, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the fact that this was Chadwick Boseman's last performance too as
Yeah,
T'Challa.
that episode,
That was yeah. So I
Yes,
think that
very
makes
sad.
the show even more
a
special.
little
It
teary
was
eyed.
yeah. It was great.
It was
I'm never
good.
gonna get over his death. I never am.
Never,
I
never.
never am.
I'm going to see Black Panther 2 with such caution because I am so scared
Yeah,
how it's
yeah.
gonna basically unfold. I have high hopes, but it's gonna be sad,
Yeah, it's
no doubt.
So I actually am like the oddball out in the galaxy, but I thought it was the original Black Panther was okay. I thought it was like about as good as the first Captain America movie.
mhm.
So I didn't quite get it, but it was something about this episode really like made me like I can need to check that out again. And I watched it again. I was like, that's pretty cool. It is like very Captain America to me, but with a little more of the fantasy edge to it. So I liked everything about the character. The movie itself, I didn't know why. I thought T'Challa, the character, is great in Civil War and Avengers, Infinity War, cool character. I didn't personally get what the movie itself was so special. Not looking for an answer. I'm just saying that was me. Since then, I've come to appreciate it. And like you, I'm like, I wonder how the second one's going to do without him now.
Yeah.
That's the question. Was it him? Because I did like him. I thought everything else going around it, I was like, I'm not sure that's all that. So without him, is it going to be okay?
I think the movie setting overall for the Black Panther series is very emotional.
Yeah.
They're very in touch with their culture in Wakanda. They're very in touch like with the ancestral plane. They're very tribal, traditional. So I feel like now that there's no more Chadwick Boseman, this movie is going to be even more emotional. You could
Mhm.
hear it already in some of the voice line, like the quotes in the
Yeah.
movie and the trailers. You can already tell how emotional this
Yeah.
movie will be.
Mhm.
Music, the setting. I don't know how Namor's gonna play into it now, so I think we just have to wait.
He's a bad guy, kind of, right?
Yeah,
Namor.
yeah.
I think it starts off as that.
Starts
I'm not
off
sure
as
if
that.
it's gonna keep it, but yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
here's a random question: who would y'all want to be the next Black Panther?
It's a very controversial topic.
God, we're going that direction.
Very
Yeah,
controversial topic.
Oh,
I don't know if it's controversial, but just real
I
quick, like, do you have a personal preference?
I am a huge fan of Lupita, the character she plays. Um,
Oh yeah,
I
I
think
heard she actually was Black Panther.
I thought she was going to be Black Panther. I hope she is. But it's most likely going to be Shuri. Um,
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of it, but I mean, she's the only
yeah.
one left. There's also rumors that Shuri's gonna die, simply because the mom in the trailer. This could be a total diversion, which Marvel does. The mom, while she's screaming, she says, "My entire family is gone." So does Shuri die? We don't know. So either my vote is Lupita's character is going to be Black Panther, Shuri's going to be Black Panther, or wild card, the mom is going to be the new Black.
Mm.
I personally think that they should have recast the role of
Of
T'Challa
T'Challa.
because, look, I thought Chadwick Boseman was amazing, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to honor, him, and basically kind of just keeping his character untouched, just him. But I thought the character is just way too important, and he
Yeah.
hasn't done enough for them to scrap him altogether.
Mm.
Um, so honestly, I mean, it's going to be someone else. If it has to be, I mean, I'm with you. Lupita would actually be a good choice. I'm not a big fan of Shuri being just because I don't think it makes sense. I know that in the comics that it happens that way, but I feel like in the MCU, she's the tech girl. She's kind of like the one behind the scenes. She makes the suit, she makes the tech. You know what I mean? It just I don't feel she's in for combat. I don't see her character that way.
Well, think about it this
But
way: neither was Tony Stark.
yeah, but I mean, Tony Stark, he he kind of made the suit to make protect himself. You know what I mean? The way Black Panther is, it's kind of like what they take is almost as in line with the super soldier serum. You know, it's I don't know. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
Actually,
um, I
that's interesting that you say that what they take is super soldier serum, but they don't have any more of that. They all burned.
oh, that's true. I'm pretty sure they'll explain where they'll probably get more, maybe, but I theory wise, I mean, this is like reaching. I would love for Michael B. Jordan to come back
I knew you were gonna say
and
that.
pull him from a timeline where he's good
Good.
and
Yeah.
he can
Okay.
play.
I want to play off of that. That's what I was
Yeah,
waiting for. My
I
turn
mean,
to
I
say it.
doubt
But
they're
yeah.
gonna do that. I really do, but
All right.
that would be
So
great.
he was a villain, right? Killmonger is his
Yeah,
name, right? Like
yeah,
he was a straight up villain, and I know there was supposed to be like a sympathetic piece to it at the end, uh, for what his maybe where he was in his heart, but maybe not his mind.
right.
And it was like, okay, maybe he was kind of like redeemed before he dies. Chadwick Boseman or Black Panther tried to save him and actually save his make him turn him into a good guy, and he didn't. He just wasn't gonna have it. But then in What If, there's a moment where I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Because I think they were showing Killmonger was on his
Yeah,
way to being a good guy. And I'm like, yes. And actually, my head started working. I was like, I wonder if they can bring him back. And then in the end, he had to
Mm-hmm.
go back to his same old ways. And I was like,
Yep.
damn it. That would have been the way to do
I
this,
just think in the
So
MCU, Killmonger is always going to be. I don't.
yeah, that's the thing. Can you change a villain in the MCU just because you kind of need
yeah.
to fill the
I mean,
space?
yeah, I know, and it would have to be from a different um universe. It couldn't be
That
the
I think
same.
that would work though. Like I didn't think of it
I
until
mean,
because
that's the way you can do it. Yeah, because
yeah.
they're thinking, well, maybe they kept him alive, but like you said, he wasn't really a good guy. I don't see why they would trust him. His family
Perhaps,
would trust him into be
yeah.
the next, Black Panther
Well,
again. No,
perhaps
it
in
just
his timeline, he isn't Killmonger. There is another,
right.
maybe in
Well,
there's another
again,
Killmonger in
if
his
they do
timeline.
that, then yeah. How about M'Baku?
Yeah, the big guy.
Maybe he could.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
he even saw himself not worthy to be Black Panther. Like he could have easily taken that role when
maybe
Chadwick
now he can.
was still
Maybe
like
now.
when Chadwick was thought to be dead,
yeah.
and they offered him the flower and everything. Like he was one bite away from being the Black Panther, but he decided no.
Right. At that point, yes, but
At
since
that
then
point,
we've
yeah.
defeated Thanos. He was a part of the good guys there. It's like I've grown. I could take on the mantle now. If there's no one left, I mean, if we got him and
You know?
Suri,
But I mean, the
or
suit that we see at the end of the trailer, it's most likely a female. Looks like a
yeah, that did
female.
not look like
Yeah, I
good dude.
know. I looked at it over and over again. I'm like, yeah, legs look kind of skinny. I can't think it's a female. I don't know.
Which
Yeah,
I'm
But
not.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
mad at. I'm okay with it. I hope it's Lupita. If it's
I'm not.
Shuri,
Look,
it's Shuri.
yeah.
We can't do it wrong.
Again, I just don't think they should have scrapped the character altogether. They should have, to me, they should have recast him. But we're beyond that. So let's just see what happens.
yep.
We're not even
All right,
on
cool. That
What
was
If
a
anymore.
side
We're just on Black
tangent.
Panther.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
I know.
tangent. My bad.
That was. It was.
But I think What If was solid. We liked it a
Absolutely.
lot. We're looking forward to season
Yeah,
2. Any idea
absolutely.
when it's coming out? I don't even know.
It's
Next
in
year?
2023, early 2023, I
God,
think. Yeah.
it's forever.
Only 4 months
All
away.
right. So Hawkeye's next. Let's go with who
Hawkeye.
hates it the most.
I think you guys hate it the most. I actually enjoyed it.
No,
No,
I
Red
did.
liked it.
Oh, Red
Red
I
liked
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 it.
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 Oh, okay.
There's
I
only
thought this. To me, this was the worst.
Wow.
Out of it was to me. I'm sorry. That's yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
okay. Go for it. What's up with it? Why don't you
Well,
like
why'd
it?
you hate it? Why'd you hate it? What's
Yeah,
your problem?
that's
You
what
don't
I'm
like
asking.
family? You don't like
Okay,
Christmas?
you know what it is. I
You don't
okay.
like
Let me,
Christmas.
let,
You hate Christmas. Stupid. Okay.
no, I honestly let me take it back a little. I didn't hate it. That's a strong word to use. I just was very unimpressed with it. I
Okay.
thought that the tone was very, very simplistic and too family oriented when it didn't need to be. It could have been just
Well,
a tad bit
family.
darker.
You can't
Yeah.
have a show
Darker.
made
But
during
then,
Christmas
Comic
but
time.
here's
books.
the thing. Look, I love Haley. What's her name?
Eddie Steinfeld.
I thought she was great. I thought she was the best part of the
I'm
show.
glad you liked her at least. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
and I did like that they brought back
Kingpin.
who?
Kingpin
Wilson
at the
Fisk.
end.
No. Before him,
Kind
Black Widow's
Hawkeye.
Oh,
sister.
Yelena.
I
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
I like they
See,
connected
God,
her. That was
that's
great,
so good.
and the fact that they brought back Kingpin it excited me because I thought, oh wait, so this ending is gonna be amazing. Man, I'm sorry.
That fight was
Joke of a
cheesy.
finale was
It was a
awful.
cheesy
It was
fight.
no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. That the cheesy would be like, okay, it's cool, but it's cool. No, no, that was horrible.
it wasn't
Okay,
horrible. It
it
was
was hard.
cheesy.
Come on,
It
It
man.
wasn't
wasn't
the
That
that
fight,
worst.
bad.
it was
Okay, listen,
horrible.
listen. The
No,
fights,
Okay,
the
it was
fights were
terrible.
the fights in the show were probably the least impressive, in
they were
my
tame.
opinion.
Yeah. And
But
no, and then what was wrong with Hawkeye stuck in a Christmas tree for like 20 minutes, man? He was just stuck in the tree. And I didn't understand why
He's
isn't he
stuck
getting
in
out
it.
of the damn tree? Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it's just there's a lot of corny parts in there.
yeah.
I couldn't
yeah,
I don't know.
whatever.
I mean, I think at the end it was okay. I for sure it was my least favorite of the whole MCU
I thought it
series.
All right.
was. I mean, we're gonna get a whole show about this girl, Echo, right? Like the main Wilson Fisk's adopted daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're getting a
I
whole
think so.
show
Yeah,
about her, right? Yeah.
right.
Son
Yes,
of a
yes, we
bitch.
are.
That's what Echo's about. I didn't know it was her
Yeah.
name,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw like the Phase 5 or whatever Echo.
Yeah. That show.
I don't
That's
know.
a-
We're getting honestly. Do we need a show about her?
Well, I think they're gonna continue because I don't think Wilson Fisk is dead.
Oh, obviously he's not dead.
No,
I
of
mean, they
course
wouldn't
not.
bring him back to kill him so easily. No.
No, and obviously he's a lot more enhanced than he was when we saw him in Daredevil. And
Well, I
man,
don't know the way he was fighting.
okay, but like he
Sorry,
ripped the
sorry.
car door off.
No, I get it. Yeah, no, they shot an arrow through his chest, and
And
he
he
was
was
fine.
fine.
So obviously, this is see. That's the thing. I want this to be a clear explanation as to is this the same Kingpin we got from Netflix, even the same Daredevil? Because I don't know. I don't understand
We
how.
don't know yet.
Yeah, we still don't know yet. We really don't. So
I mean,
Yeah.
in those shows, you know, like in the Netflix shows, they talk about the events that happened in New York a few times. They talk about, you know, the
yeah,
Avengers,
they do.
and
They do. Yeah.
and they talk about other superheroes, Hulk, Captain America. They talk about those people. Now, thinking about it, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's canon because now we know that different timelines exist.
Yeah.
So
Yes, you're right. You know what? I didn't even
Could
think
be
about
another
that.
Kingpin.
That's probably what they're gonna do. You're right.
so
This is
it's
another.
not necessarily that it's not canon. It's just different versions of them.
Anything goes at this point. It seems
Yeah,
like you
that's why
can write
the
off.
multiverse has no rules. That's why you can do stuff like
And
this.
now we know that
But you know what? I
variants.
like it.
Yeah, I like it
Yeah.
too because I
Yeah.
love Charlie Cox's Daredevil. I love
Well, I'm just saying the multiverse in general.
and
but
multiverse,
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like the fact that they can make mistakes and pretty much say it's the multiverse. That's like
Multiverse.
they gave
Yeah.
themselves a get out of jail free card every time.
They
now.
did. They did. They did.
Yeah.
The mouse
Go
take
ahead. You were
advantage of
saying
it.
Charlie Cox.
yeah, I mean, now that we know that variants can basically look like other variants, like almost identical, that's why we know Charlie Cox look exactly like
Mhm.
the Daredevils look exactly alike, the Kingpins look exactly alike. So, and now we're rumors of John Berthal coming back, Punisher. So I like their
Yeah.
introduction of the characters themselves. I really enjoy those characters and I like those actors. If they're the same ones from the Netflix show, I wouldn't be upset if it wasn't because I like the characters anyway. Because honestly, those shows derail anything that probably like I like those shows more than the Disney Plus shows overall, especially Daredevil and Punisher, compared to like Hawkeye. You know, it doesn't even compare in my book. So
That's what you're saying.
I don't have a problem with Wilson Fisk and what his character did because in my eyes it doesn't seem like the same one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just real quick, we're on that topic. I have only seen Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones season 1.
Shame on you.
I have a long way to go. I know I'm behind, but I kind of, especially now, need to do it. She-Hulk's gonna have Daredevil apparently, so
Yes.
who knows? I want to make sure I'm tied into
Apparently,
what's
no, that's
happening.
fact.
It's
That's
fact.
fact.
They didn't show it in the trailer.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Is it a trailer or is it a?
No, it was a trailer.
No, it was
At the end of the trailer, he's
yeah.
jumping in his suit and everything.
Oh, I guess yeah. It's been a minute. Whatever. I mean, he was in Spider-Man. No Way Home.
Yes, but he wasn't as suited up as Daredevil.
Still, he was him. So yeah, I got to check that out. Obviously, everyone's told me it's
Yeah.
awesome. So I'm looking forward to finishing. What I saw was amazing. But I guess we can move along to Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, another fantastic show.
Third favorite of all
Yes,
MCU shows.
I agree. I really enjoyed Oscar Isaac's performance. He really
Dude,
he
stole
carried
it.
the show for me.
Yeah.
Stole the
Best
show.
actor in the whole MCU series so far. The shows. I thought he stole the show.
He
Absolutely.
played three different people at once. It was great.
Yeah. He carried the show. It was his show, and he played all those three characters completely. I mean, top notch.
I loved
She's
his
great.
character. I loved his
She's great.
wife. What was her name again?
Oh yeah, she was great too.
I liked
Yeah,
her. I liked her character.
yeah, yeah. She, for some reason, she reminded me a lot of Rachel Weisz from The Mummy. That kind of
Ah,
character, kind of, she
Yeah.
had that same kind of look about
Yeah,
her.
she was
her frizzy hair.
the Scarlet Scarab. That's her name of
Yeah.
her.
Oh, thanks for sharing. I was wondering who
Mhm.
the hell it was.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
comic,
I thought Ethan Hawke was great too, though.
yes, I liked
Yeah,
Ethan Hawke as well.
Yeah,
He
he was
did a
great.
good
forget.
Yeah,
job.
Good villain.
And I
yeah,
loved
Um,
how they explained in that show. We got the first explanation as to different afterlives in the MCU. So, like the Ta'awet, the hippo, explains that all different types of cultures have different afterlives. So there's different
yeah,
like versions of
mhm.
hell, afterlife, whatever. And she even mentions the ancestral plane, which is the Black Panther afterlife. So I kind of like that little introduction there, little Easter egg. And she also mentions not she, he, Oscar Isaac's character, it's Steven, the English one.
yeah.
He mentions Bast, which is the Egyptian god, which gives the Black Panther his power. Like it gives the Black Panther. They gave the people of Wakanda the Black Panther fruit, and it derived the power of the Black Panther.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
See, that's why I need to see the movie again and catch
Yeah,
the origin of
I'm
that.
glad you know all this because those little details.
yeah.
Right over our heads, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they did. Thor: Love and Thunder went to some afterlife with Valhalla and
Yes.
other gods, and
In
basically, it's
the
any
omnipotent city. Yeah.
these gods. There are your people, your problems. I can't remember how Zeus put it, but
Hmm.
you deal with your issues. Um, so yeah, the afterlife has become almost another verse in the MCU. We got the heaven and hell of each culture, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you go where you're assigned. Where you're. What if you
Hmm.
don't believe any? What if you're an atheist?
You just die.
Oh
You just turn
well,
to
the
dust.
end. Better figure out a god. So real quick, remember something that I don't know if it was rumored or like slapped on the table fact before Moon Knight came out, and we were all kind of like frustrated about it, which was this someone I don't remember who it was decided to say maybe Kevin Feige that Moon Knight is not part of the MCU.
No, it definitely
Do you remember
yeah.
this?
is.
Well, no, no. Well,
Someone said this.
yeah, no, no. This was fact. Yeah. The thing is, the show. I believe that I did enjoy the show a lot, but I do feel like it is the most disconnected from the MCU, where you really don't feel much of connection to anything else in the story with any other characters in the MCU. I think what him saying
Eternals.
that really. Well, no, no, no. Well,
I guess
no,
the
no,
closest thing
no, no,
was
no.
the
Because Eternals mentioned the events of the Avengers and Thanos in the movie quite a few
Well,
times
in
actually.
Moon Knight, they mentioned. I just said it. They mentioned the ancestral plane and Bast,
Yeah, but
Black Panther.
no plain fan is gonna like recognize that like you did. I didn't
well,
recognize that
but
unless I saw it a
I get what
second
you're
time,
saying.
probably. Yeah,
But that's the key. That's the key. It says it. I'm just wondering why was that said? If because I see what you're saying. It doesn't directly, but it doesn't mean it isn't connected just because they didn't have a reference or one that was well known. But
I
why
I,
would they
th-
say that? Like, well, why? What's
I
the point of just separating it?
I think it's separated for now. It doesn't mean it won't be connected later.
Why? Why even bother saying it?
I don't know.
Like, I'm
I
not.
didn't
I'm not
say
arguing
it.
with
I'm
you.
just.
I think the guy who said it was it Kevin Feige. Was it the guy who directed this show? But what was the point of saying that? Because now it's
I don't know.
like, and I never
I
heard
don't know
from
why
again.
it was
Once the
even
show
mentioned
started,
because
no one
it's,
even brought
in
up.
my opinion, I think it's clearly connected. I mean, it may be its own show and have its own content, but I
It
mean,
should be connected. I don't see why
it
it isn't.
yeah, it's connected. In my eyes, it's connected. I don't see any reason why
Sure.
it shouldn't be.
And that's my point. Why did they even bother saying it? If the easy answer is because it's another multiverse, then that's connected. That's what the MCU
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
it was just a weird. I don't know if it was like after Spider-Man, they like to say these things, these little,
yeah.
mysterious phrases, and it's like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, "Don't get your hopes up before No Way Home." It's like, haha, yeah, got
Even
it. It's like
one of
it's
their
not from the MCU.
even Marvel's one of Marvel's new recent projects that they're coming out with, Spider-Man freshman year or whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
animated
that's
series.
confusing.
They said that it was a prequel to Spider-Man Homecoming because it's going to be him coming up as
His
Spider-Man.
freshman year.
But then
Yep.
they were seeing characters here like Norman Osborn and Doctor Octopus, and it's
Yeah.
like, so this isn't in the MCU. This is a different
Exactly. I was
universe.
confused as
Yeah, it's
hell.
confusing.
Yeah,
They don't
Yeah.
need to do that. Like it's the MCU is clean and well oiled, and they need to not throw these little weird things in there like that. Keep it MCU. Like I would have loved the idea of like, you know what? We didn't have to see Spider-Man's origin, but an animated series, I'm all about it.
yeah.
That
But
sounds
then it's
great.
just a different Spider-Man
Now it's
altogether.
a different Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
they can't figure out what's going on now. I don't want to hear any of this DC crap. I know we got to move on. We're kind of slow.
Moon
here.
Knight, we all enjoyed it. Pretty good show as a show.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed. It was our third favorite show.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was
of the-
different, and I had no
Yeah, I
idea who
agree.
the hell Moon Knight was.
Yeah.
Never even heard of him until Oscar Isaac was
Yeah,
cast.
I mean, same here. No idea who the character was about or anything. So, but it was great.
On to the last show that has come out besides She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. This is an interesting one. Rhett, what are your thoughts on Miss Marvel?
I liked it somewhere along the lines of Hawkeye, but if I had to compare him, I liked Hawkeye better. I think a little bit. But this was cool. I thought it was neat that they jumped into some more culture and they got to experience. You know, it was a character that I also didn't know jack crap about. So I learned a little about her, even though she's different from what I understand. Because every comic book picture I've seen of her, she looks like Mr. Fantastic powers.
That's what she's
you know,
supposed to have, yes.
Stretch Armstrong. But I think they made it cooler. And honestly, it's 616. You can kind of have a little freedom to basically make it cooler if it needs to be. If it needs some help, just 616 it a little bit. So I watched that one in Hawkeye. I mean, maybe it's one of those special places, but I watched them both with my daughter, and I like the fact that there's a young female superhero for her to kind of just look at and enjoy. And it didn't hurt me, and it didn't hurt any of my other respect for other characters. So I dug it. I thought the little actress was awesome. I think she's going to be a great addition to the MCU.
I agree.
I want to see what she does with old Brie Larson. You know, there you go.
All right. Buck, what are your thoughts?
I liked it just fine. I remember seeing the trailers for it, and I thought this show was not going to be for me.
Yeah, it probably was.
But I thought it was fine. It basically was what I thought it was going to be, but it was a little bit better because you're right. The actress was great, and I think the whole cast, even her parents, everyone. It was a very easy, delightful show to watch. It wasn't anything that was too complicated or too dark. It was a nice, fun show. And then the way it ended with their Easter eggs was probably the best part.
Absolutely.
Mutants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our first actual, I guess Kamala Khan, technically in the MCU, is the first confirmed mutant.
Yeah.
Not multiverse. Mutant.
Not multiverse, MCU.
That's pretty much.
Yeah, 616.
Yeah. I mean,
with the X-Men theme,
The
animation theme,
yeah.
you can't mistake that. It's like
You've heard it twice now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and Doctor
twice.
Strange
Yeah, and-
it's
At
like,
first, I
oh,
thought it was just a nice little like Easter egg they're putting
Yeah.
in, but no, this is I don't know.
at
they're
this,
trying to light the fire. You
yeah,
know?
They are.
At this
They
point,
are.
Marvel just hates Inhumans because that's what she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be an Inhuman. In the comic book.
Tell me about that. I'm not quite as familiar, but I heard Inhumans the comics were around, what, 20 years, 15 years? They've been around a little bit. I don't know. I'm thinking that's what I saw back in the day.
They introduced Inhumans in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Yeah, because they couldn't say mutant.
Yeah, well, not necessarily they couldn't say mutant, but they were just introducing the Inhumans together, and then they had a side show just called the Inhumans. And I guess every Marvel project that had the Inhumans in there, they kind of just like scrapped because now not even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon.
Yeah.
So they're just like, no.
Wait a minute. There was some connection to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think in Hawkeye at the end of the show. Remember his wife
Yes,
was
there
an agent, and it
Yeah.
showed like the same
Like,
crest
it
or
was
something.
a watch or something. It was like a watch,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a end credit scene. Now, here's the question: was it just Agents of
I
S.H.I.E.L.D.
think she was just a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
for the movie?
I think
For the movie, not the show. Someone said it had. I can't remember what video I watched connected it to the show. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think she
And
was
at this
just
point-
a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, to be honest. I don't see
Okay,
any
I
other
mean-
connection.
You might be right.
'Cause-
At this point, I'm just saying, hey, Marvel MCU, you can multiverse anything now.
I know
perhaps.
Kevin
Yeah,
Feige
it's-
for sure says that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon, which is unfortunate because I really like the Ghost Rider in that show.
So he really said that it's not
Yeah,
canon for sure.
Yeah.
He said Moon Knight isn't. So what the hell?
that's
I
also
mean,
true.
Yeah.
We don't know
if
what
it
to
was
think.
him, I don't remember if it's him.
I really
Yeah.
liked Miss Marvel. I enjoyed all the characters. I enjoyed all the fights. Fast paced. I love the art style as well too. I thought it was very unique. It reminded me a lot of
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse a little bit with live action.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like I think her character is gonna be great when she's an Avenger. Like when she actually becomes part of the team and get going. So
It's really cool. Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Now
That was nice.
our final topic, She-Hulk. It's not out yet. But what are
Comes
our
out tomorrow.
thoughts? Yes, comes out tomorrow. Well, for you guys who are watching it, but we
All right.
haven't seen it
Let
yet.
me just before we get into anything, I have a feeling one of us is more concerned than the other two. It's maybe you. Okay. I'm trying to go in order of like who's most positive to negative, so we can kind of like keep a topic going, and then like, okay, let's have to talk about the fallout issues. So maybe I'm more positive. I don't know where you stand, Marco, but
I'm pretty positive about it.
all right, let's start with you then.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
She-Hulk.
again, I am familiar with She-Hulk's character a little bit. I know that she breaks the fourth
I'm not.
wall in the comic books a lot, and we see that in the trailers. First time she actually does break the 4th wall in the trailers. Um,
That was
I
cute
think we're
too,
going to see a
but
lot of characters in the show. Actually, I think we're going to see obviously Daredevil in the show, Abomination, who's obviously confirmed for the show. But I think there's characters in there that they're hiding from us. I think now that they've confirmed mutants, there's another mutant that breaks the fourth wall.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
No, what?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, there might be a scene where
You never know.
she's talking to the audience, like you
And
know,
then
just
he
like
pokes his
and
head.
then he's like, "Hey, who you talking to?" or something like something stupid. You never know.
Buck
So
would hate that.
yeah, he would hate it. I know, but like again, it would be a good introduction for because it's a character similar to him. And again, we might see more Hulk villains in general. Because now I, I know that her origin, the way that she even gets the gamma radiation, is that they are on a trip together. Remember at the end of Shang-Chi, he wasn't Hulk. He was Bruce Banner again. He was regular human Bruce Banner.
Yeah, yeah.
So he wasn't in Hulk form. In the show, he is in Hulk form. And I think he gets in Hulk form because they get in a car accident. And the only way for him to survive is to turn into Hulk, and she's on the verge of death. The only way for her to come back, the only thing he thinks of is to maybe give her
Did
some
you read this?
No, I didn't read it. I remember it from the comics. I have a feeling that this is
Oh,
how it's going to transition. I don't think it's a car accident that happens exactly, but I know it's something
I
related
no,
to.
I heard it is a car accident.
It
I
is a
heard it's a
car
car
accident.
accident that they're both in. Now,
Yes.
I don't think he's Hulk. The thing is, it was a bad accident. And they both his blood gets inside her.
Okay, so
while
his
they're in the
blood
accident.
accidentally gets
I
into her.
think I
Okay.
have, but that's what I heard. What it is, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well,
But that, yeah,
again,
they
it could
changed. They
be
changed the origin story.
it could be a car
Yeah.
accident, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think it's just more of a Bruce teaching her how to be a Hulk story, and at the same time, she's starting a division in attorneys specifically for superheroes. So,
well,
and
boss me for
apparently
the
she's
firm is.
attorney at law. That's all she is. So I think this is where we're gonna get our introduction to Daredevil's involvement. So since either they're gonna partner up with somebody, probably Abomination, to work on the case together because he has experience already in dealing with the enhanced humans in the law. He's represented the Punisher already. Again, could be a different universe. Who knows? You haven't seen season 2 yet, so sucks for you.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
But again, it's just a theory. I don't know. Again, I think that's the only way they're gonna meet as Matt Murdock and pre She-Hulk, and then when she becomes She-Hulk, he's gonna be like, "You smell different" or something. Like you're the same person, but you're not the person. And he's gonna come.
Oh, because he's very sensitive. Yeah.
Exactly. He's gonna know right off the bat that who she
Sensitive.
is.
Keep that down. So let's say something. I recognize that.
So what do you guys thoughts?
Knowing Matt Murdock, he probably dated her in law school.
Yeah.
Probably.
Remember
Probably.
what he did with law students?
Electro.
Right. So it looks again like a fun MCU show to me that I almost can't take seriously, but can look at like, oh, I guess it's part of the real world. Looking forward to watching it. I like. I don't know. I don't have anything negative to say about it other than the CGI at first was kind of bothering me.
Yes, that was probably everyone's main complaint.
But I've looked at it enough now. I've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
As well as I was watching Moon Knight recently, and CGI is not great in there either. Those characters, the
it's true.
alligator and the hippo, and
the transition when he puts on
rough.
his suit, it's a little wonky.
I didn't mind that as much as just like the CGI crocodile and hippo, and I was
The
just kind of like,
afterlife too was kind
ugh.
of, I don't know, very
Yeah.
blue screen.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, the sandstorm that comes at the end.
Sandstorm, yeah.
It was just kind of cheapy. I thought that, yeah, I don't know. I didn't like this real quick on Moon Knight. The voices that match the gods were annoying to me. Khonshu was okay, but
Everyone else was
um,
kind of wacky.
Amet, at least that one had sort of like
The
that, uh,
raspiness.
yeah, like that Goa'uld from Stargate SG-1, like deep voice they altered a little bit. Whereas the hippo is an English woman's voice, and it's like that wouldn't even match your, throat, your vocal cords.
Yeah.
It just was like it could have had a deeper woman's voice. I don't know. It just didn't make sense. I was like, this is weird. You're supposed to be a god, not like a dainty sounding, Queen of England. We're talking about She-Hulk.
Yes.
She-Hulk, the actress, I think they cast perfectly.
Yes, I agree.
Tatiana Maslany, I can't remember. I only saw a part of Orange. Orphan Black, not Orange.
Yeah, wrong
Is the
show.
new Black.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. Orphan Black, but I saw like half the first season and thought she was a pretty good actress. Similarly to Oscar Isaac, she played a lot of different roles and as the same actress. So I thought that was pretty cool. She's probably gonna be good at this. And Buck, take it away. Bring us home.
I'm curious. So I'm last because you guys think I'm the most negative
Yes.
going into the show.
Because
Yeah.
When have I ever given you guys the impression that I was negative towards the show?
the
coming
second
out?
you thought this show was gonna be a comedy.
Not really.
I
No.
remember.
I remember watching the trailer with you guys, and I'm like, this looks
Yes, when we watched the
pretty good.
trailer, yes, we were excited. But
The CGI didn't even bother me all
yes,
that much. I
but
thought it was
when this
okay.
show was announced, and then
When it was announced,
you were
yeah,
probably the least excited.
at first.
Yes.
But after that, I've from what I've seen from it, I'm excited for it.
Oh, okay.
I guess I
don't-
took it as I know how much of a Hulk fan you are, and this is kind of like
Well,
the nail in the coffin for the Hulk if she's
okay.
going to take on. So that's why I
Okay.
was like, I bet this is the end for
Yeah.
you. You're like, yeah,
All right,
done.
all right. Well, let me clarify a couple of things. So, from what I've seen so far, what they're setting up is basically breaking the wall kind of show, kind of like Deadpool, going within the lines of that comedy. So they've established that. I know that going in because that's what they've shown. That's what they're advertising. So that's what I'm expecting. And a lot of cameos from what I can see that are going to pop up. A lot of cool characters that we probably even haven't seen yet. I'm excited for the show. Now, uh, my concern is that yeah, you're right. The tone isn't exactly my favorite, but I did like Thor: Love and Thunder, surprisingly, which I think shocked everybody.
That's very true. You like
Well,
it?
we guessed
You
it.
too.
We guessed you were going to like it. We
But
said, you know what?
Yeah.
He
I
seemed
was
but
like
still
this
here's
one.
but,
I'm
but
not.
but you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of people don't like it. It's receiving a lot of backlash.
She-Hulk? Hold
No,
on.
Thor.
I know. Oh,
Yeah,
which Thor?
Thor: Love and
She-Hulk.
Thunder.
Okay,
No,
fine.
Thor: Love and Thunder. A lot of people are kind of churning the heads of, they're getting kind of tired of the comedy. It's a little too much. So I think that's where the show's going to run into a problem. Where is it going to be too funny in situations where it doesn't need to be?
Mm-hmm.
Because coming off from Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't. I'm not sure people are gonna be as accepting to that. Um, as far as me liking it, I can't be 100% sure. I am looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect. Yes, you're right. The Hulk thing does get me angry, but that started way before She Hulk ever came in the picture.
Right.
They messed that up back in Endgame and the way they portrayed Hulk. And what I'm hoping for is this show will actually fix him. That towards the end they will have something with Hulk that will lead him into something different, and get back to that angry Hulk that we all love. That I
I'd
love.
like that. So don't get your hopes up, but I'd like
No,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not. I'm not. But
It really would be good though for them to change over. Like, hey, we've got a new good Hulk. Let's change over. Let's get the General
yeah,
Ross in for Red Hulk and
right.
really make some cool stuff
So
happen here. All right, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm more excited for the fun stuff that I think the show's going to provide.
All right.
Even if it's overly corny and it has kind of like this Ally McBeal kind of feel to it.
Totally Ally McBeal. Yeah, she broke the fourth wall.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's fine. As long as the show provides a lot of cool stuff that gives me something to look forward to in the future for the MCU, and
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, so we're all.
Is this the last? Yeah, is this the last MCU show of the year?
I think so, right?
Of the year?
What else is coming out this
For
year?
this
Yeah,
calendar year, December through December.
I don't think anything else is coming out.
I'd have to look at the timeline, but I'm pretty sure Phase 4 is done with Black Panther. I can't remember
Yeah,
if there's another show in
that's
between.
true. Because Phase 4, Black Panther comes out in November, right? So that wraps up Phase 4. So I think
So
that's
I
it.
mean, there'd have to be something between now and
Yeah.
November. So we're done with the year and Phase 4 almost.
I mean, besides I
Mm.
Am Groot, which was a great show, which Buck didn't
Oh,
watch.
Yeah, you missed
okay.
it. We can't even. We shouldn't even done this show. You didn't finish I Am
Is
Groot.
there anything in there that I needed to see that's going to add to anything in the MCU going
Rocket the
forward?
Raccoon wears glasses. Oh, it's important.
And Drac is taking a shower.
Drax is taking a shower. Yes,
I guess I screwed up then.
you
Shit.
did. You
I'm
really
sorry.
did.
I
Yeah.
really did.
And also, Groot commits mass murder.
and let's just say, cute, haha. But we kind of mentioned this. I would like an I Am Groot movie. I know you were like, yeah, but what are you gonna? He's got 3 words to say. It's like that's what makes a creative. That's the artistry to take something like that, basically a silent movie for him, and make a movie out of that. I mean, look at the Minions, right? They don't have anything to say. So I think they should have done an I Am Groot completely animated CG movie. 90 minutes or less. That would have been way cool. Way cooler.
I know this isn't a show, but are they still coming out with the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
Yeah, they are.
But
Yeah.
that's not like a show. That's
I
coming
don't think
out.
it's a show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a
it's more of
special.
a. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
but
gonna be like the Star Wars holiday
Yeah,
special?
I think that's
Yeah.
where they're aiming at. Yeah, it's
Like
gonna
with
be
the
kind
real
of like that.
actors and stuff?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
mhm.
what? With Chris
yeah.
Pratt?
Yes,
That's
yes.
gonna be hilarious. Because that's
Yes.
like back in the day it was intended to be funny, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Nowadays they can actually make it funny.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's
the
gonna be kind of
first show in 2023, I think it's gonna be What If Season 2, if I'm not mistaken.
cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like about where it started in 2021. I think it was no, Wanda Vision. I'm sorry. We already went through that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's our state of the MCU right now. We're excited for She-Hulk.
Yeah, so I mean, are you guys? I mean, so far as the MCU, as far as the shows and Disney Plus, I mean, have you, as a whole, have you enjoyed it? I mean, do you think
Yeah.
it's been successful in what it's
Yeah.
done so far?
I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it more than the current state of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know what? That's a stupid comparison because that's not hard right now to do.
Yeah. Okay. So I've heard our other friend Matt, who joined us on one of the Star Wars episodes.
Yeah.
He's had some issues with the MCU.
A lot of
he
people
complains
do.
a lot about the quality. Yeah. He's one of
But
like
this phase, yeah, especially, yeah.
the qual, and I could see it. It's like it's not cinematic. Like when we talk about Moon Knight, there's plenty of CG
Yeah.
in there that looked like it was not passable for a movie,
Right.
in my opinion.
Right.
But apparently I kind of give it a break because it is on a show.
It's on
But
a
should I?
show.
Because
Yeah.
should we though? Because we were dealing with when HBO shows came out, we would have never guessed that was a show. It felt cinema quality
Yeah.
movie. Like
Right.
HBO shows feel the original
Yeah.
HBO, not HBO Max so much, but HBO back in the day was a great example of how a show can be movie quality. And I think me and him thought that at first, that these shows need to be that same way with Star Wars and
Yes.
with Marvel. I've somehow, I don't know why, with Marvel I've kind of taken my foot off the gas and I'm not quite as critical on that as much now. Maybe because there's
Yeah.
so many and I'm happy with the content.
Yeah,
Well,
Star Wars,
they've done so
yeah,
good that it's
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
okay to forgive the light stuff.
because
You
they're
know.
good. You're right. And I was just about to say
Yeah.
Star Wars on the other hand,
Yeah.
that one can't let off on the pedal. And
Nope.
they did big time.
Big
And
time.
they lost my attention for a lot of it. So
Yeah.
I think my biggest concern for Marvel is that I'm enjoying their content. I think they're shooting out too much content at the same time, and it's putting a lot of stress on VFX artists and
heard that.
people.
There's not a
Yeah,
lot.
like a lot of people are not working for them because of their stressful work environment, and it shows. It shows because a lot of the quality has dipped in a lot of the Marvel projects, even in the movies, in Black Widow and Thor, and there's no, the quality was kind of whatever, but like you get what I'm saying. I feel like they need to slow down a little bit, come out with
COVID.
good quality. Yeah, I know COVID was a big part of it.
That might have helped.
Hurt, yeah. But I think they need to slow down a little bit and stop coming out with 20 projects in 1 year. It was never like that. It took 10 years for the Infinity Saga to release, and it was 22 movies, 23 movies, whatever. So that's an average of like 2.5 movies a year.
Yeah.
And now they're shooting out how many projects in 1 year?
You're right.
It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot. And it's
not that we don't love it.
It's not we don't love it. You're right, but the content
turns-
could be better. The quality could be better. I
Yeah.
feel like a movie like Multiverse of Madness that could have been way better than it was needed another year. I think it needed another year for it to really show us what the multiverse was capable of. A movie called Multiverse of Madness should not only have 6 different universes in it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna tell you my main issue. It's not an issue, but I for the most part I've enjoyed the shows. I think they're fine, but I think the big problem with the MCU shows is that they don't really feel like quite their own. They're almost just like pieces of a puzzle in the bigger picture of what's gonna come. So it doesn't really feel
Yeah.
like its own thing in a way. You know, I could tell you right now, none of the shows will ever rank my top 10 shows of all time. They're good. They're fun. They're great. I wouldn't pick one from what I've seen so far to be like, oh, this is one of my top 5 shows
From
of all
Disney
time.
Plus? No. Never.
No, never. So I think they're okay, but like you said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff they're shooting out that I think that's what's hurting it, and it feels a little rushed. Again, I'm not a big fan of these shows. Because some of them have been like 6 episodes, and
9
that's
episodes.
none of these shows should be 6 episodes. Like Obi-Wan, for instance. Come on, man. You cannot tell a proper story from a series with just 6 episodes. If that just
That are
make it
like
a movie,
30
then
minutes long.
Well, you can if you focused on the right stuff and didn't try to introduce new characters and plotlines no one gives a shit about.
yeah.
But I
Well,
mean, if
that's
you
yeah.
kept it to Obi-Wan, Anakin,
Yeah,
you know,
trust me, we've talked that issue to death, and
Yes.
yeah,
it's
you're
never
right.
gonna be better. But yeah, but I think it's been fine. Could it be better? Sure,
Yeah.
but it's still a lot better than what they've done with Star Wars.
I agree.
You know what's good? Like, let's say this, and I've talked about it before. I know CW is cheese, and it's been out for forever. But I liked that it was in a comic book story in a television series format, because you get
Yeah,
so many chances to see various little villains you never heard of, or you heard of, but maybe never knew what they were about.
Right.
And I kind of feel like the Disney MCU, it's like buying a, I don't know if you're back in the day when you're a kid, I don't know, you bought like a trade paperback and it was a story arc and you read it, you're like, cool. By the end, you're like, oh, I know a little bit more about that character now. That's what like
yeah,
Moon Knight felt to me, for instance, and Hawkeye. It's like a nice little 6 issue and you put it away, and that was nice. But it just doesn't move you. Admittedly, the WandaVision and Loki at first, those were two. I was like, man, I'm into it. I'm ready to see what happens after this.
yeah.
We'll see.
I
So
mean, look,
Yeah, we'll see.
when I was watching Moon Knight, I thought this is gonna be great, and the way this ends, if it ends really great, this could be top tier. But then it was like, oh, it was
Mediocre
okay.
ending, yeah.
Yeah,
mediocre, yeah. Yeah.
again, yeah, that's the main problem with the MCU when it comes to the shows. It just feels just adequate. It's okay. It's fine, but it's nothing mind blowing. It's
I think
not.
that's the biggest problem with the MCU
Yeah,
shows. They don't know how
yeah,
to end. I think the only one that really knew how to end was Loki. About it.
Kind of a new format for them too, though. Like if you recall, the MCU had criticism for the first couple phases because if you remember, the biggest thing was they don't know how to make a villain yet. Marvel doesn't know how to
I
do a
remember
villain.
that. You're right.
That was
Yeah,
what people kept saying. Like every time it's
yeah,
a guy, he rises and he falls, and that's the end of him.
yeah.
Until we started getting close to Thanos, and it's like, all
Yeah,
right, we have an actual
Thanos was the
villain. Yeah.
first villain that was like Vader kind of status. Finally, that we got like, wow, this
So
guy was amazing.
I
Yeah,
I
go
would
ahead.
hope. I think Marvel pays more attention than Lucasfilm does, and I think Marvel Studios is probably looking at their Phase 4 as kind of a, "Ooh, it wasn't our best, and MCU shows were part of that.
Yeah,
Let's try to do better." Like I think they actually would take criticism and go with it. DC, no, the
let's
old
not.
DC. Kathleen Kennedy, no, no. That we
Yeah.
still want to go down our direction, and
I still have hope for Marvel and
yeah,
pushing out
I think they're the best
quality content until
Yeah,
they
until
don't.
it's not.
Until they don't. This
We got a lot coming. I mean, this whole
yeah, there's a
Kang
lot.
thing,
Yeah,
Secret Wars, eventually X-Men. I mean, there's a lot to look forward
there's a
to in the next
lot.
10 years, you know?
Yeah,
They'll keep me afloat as far as popcorn movies and stuff.
yeah,
So, you know what, Marvel? Good on you. You did well.
it's good on you. So
yeah.
far, you haven't disappointed me to the point where I don't feel like I need to watch your content anymore. So
No. You've
all
you've
right.
done so much good that if you want to experiment and just kind of like take
Do a bad
chances
one
on
here
certain
and there. That's
projects,
okay.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
don't worry
Hey,
about
we'll forgive you, man. Hey,
Yeah.
you've done so much for us. We'll forgive you. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's not like they took Luke Skywalker and turned him into an asshole.
All
Can you
right.
imagine if
All
he
right.
did that in a
All
movie?
right. All
All
right.
right.
I think that's the end of our podcast.
That's where I wanted to
Yes,
cut it off. I
that's
was like,
it.
this will end it right
Perfect.
here.
All right.
Mic drop.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the Worst Fans podcast. And watch She-Hulk tomorrow. And next week, we don't know what we're going to be talking about, but we hope you join us. So we'll see you guys next time.